Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chair League. I am your host, Jason. Got a Division 2 match tonight. Deviance versus Focus Morales or GG. So, two pretty high-profile teams here from Division 2. Lord knows that Focus Morales or GG kicked my ass earlier in the season, so mad respect to those guys. And both of these teams fighting for a good solid position here in Chair League. Let me actually take a quick sec to take a peek at where exactly these teams are. Pretty far up there. Yeah, number 5 and number 4. So both of these teams pretty much at this point looking at an auto-in situation with this win. I really think that let's see. Yeah. Okay. That's Malfurion. Yes, that's helpful. But that is indeed Zarya. No, you're not, Baked Pie. You're not picking Nova. Nova's bugged. So not going to happen. But we do have these teams beginning to draft here. Infernal Shrines is going to be the map. Zarya will be the first ban out here from Deviance. The response from Focus Morales or GG will be that Malfurion ban. So right away, throwing out two of the strongest heroes in the meta. Sylvanas is going to be the pickup. Good solid hero for being able to aid the push of those Punishers. Vala and Muradin coming out for Focus Morales or GG. Solid pickups. Muradin has good solid presence in on those shrines and the ability to dwarf toss away as he starts to get low, and also the unique ability of being able to self-heal very quickly in those situations to be able to come back fairly soon. But the Kerrigan pickup coming up for Deviance. Kerrigan very strong on this map. Her ability to quickly clear those in situations where they have a big advantage, and Focus Morales GG doesn't come to contest. Kerrigan can pretty much take those shrines in a very efficient fashion all by herself. So a good solid pickup on this map. And ETC is going to be the pickup here. So neither team prioritizing any heals in the early part of this match. And good solid picks coming out right away. We've seen a lot of people going ETC lately. I think that's really really a pretty powerful pick here in Chair League. A good combo with Kerrigan for all the extra CC you get on that front line. Just a good frontline presence in general. Been seeing a lot of stage dive lately. It seems like with this new kit, a lot of ETC players are favoring that ult. We'll have to see if that happens here. Global presence, always a welcome sight on Infernal Shrines. It's always a really big deal to be able to get that global presence, get a little extra soak, and still be able to rotate up. However, ETC only gets that at 10, and it's not very, doesn't come up very often, so Ariel going to be the ban out here for Focus Morales or GG. Does look like they're looking for a different healer here, so they're going to start to apply that healer chokehold. Probably going to pick it up with these next two picks, so decides to get Ariel out. And with Malfurion and Ariel out here, those are two of the best sustain healers in the game. Neither team deciding in the first half of this draft to pick it up. So a lot of ban outs here on those support sustained healers. But we'll have to see what the ban out is here. They could decide to try to apply that Bruiser chokehold, but they're going to go with Brightwing. So all of the really, really solid sustained healers are gone here. Both teams challenging each other here to see which healer pool is deeper. Question on whether Deviance is actually going to have the gall to actually pick Morales is my question. Sorry about that, folks. I almost finished dinner. Almost. It was very close. Rhaegar going to be the pickup here for Focus Morales. He's pretty good on this map. The Lightning Shield has the unique extra ability to be able to help out in a lot of those situations with picking up those shrines. So still need a burst damage dealer. They could definitely use another frontliner to be able to counter this Kerrigan ETC frontline. I suspect they'll want to pick up that burst damage dealer here, though, because Deviance has not picked one up yet. So taking their time trying to decide what they want. Li Ming still on the table, Chromie obviously on the table, but not a very good pick, I think, against Kerrigan and ETC. That Chromie getting dived is a real problem in those situations. Li Ming could be a possible pickup here though. But they're going to go with Lunara, so they're going to go ahead and go straight sustained damage, which makes a lot of sense. All of the sustained healers have really been taken out. Rhaegar, I guess you could count that as, but with Ancestral also does provide some good solid burst healing. So 2 pickups here for Deviance. And Focus Morales or GG also doing a nice job of keeping their comp kind of open. They could decide to go with a triple back line. They could decide to go with another frontliner. They could decide to go with a second support. They've got all the options in the world there. And Uther is going to be the pickup for Deviance. So now that mosh pit becomes a little bit more possible with that divine mosh possibility in that combo. I really like the potential there of being able to shut down that Vala, that Rhaegar, that Lunara on the back line. If ETC can get back that far, hit up that divine mosh, and not a whole lot of counters. It's really Vala and Muradin right now are the only ones that have those counters for that ETC mosh pit. Could obviously pick up another one here. Raynor, one of the best. And it is going to be Li Ming for Deviance. They are going to select a burst damage dealer. They also have the burst heals from Uther. But big problem here is the Uther into the Lunara. Uther has a very hard time dealing with the poison damage from Lunara. I feel like that might be a little bit of a draft error here. But we'll have to see if Uther can indeed deal with all the sustained damage that's going to be coming out from Vala, and especially that Lunara poison. Can be quite rough. But we'll have to see. Focus Morales or GG could go with a second. They are. They're going to go straight full tank. That is a vicious front line coming out from Focus Morales or GG. Just a ridiculous amount of sustain in that front line. Gonna enable Lunara and Vala to do a lot of work on those frontliners. Gonna be able to peel really nicely for them and have a huge presence on that front line. I think that Focus Morales or GG has won this draft in the way they've drafted that front line to be able to bully Deviance around. They can get in the way of those Li Ming abilities and soak that damage, push in and take on that Kerrigan and ETC head-to-head with Muradin and Johanna. They can also have Muradin go a little bit more of a bruiser type build. But very impressed here with the draft coming out from these guys. I think they like I said, they left that very open. They could have picked a lot of different things. Johanna is going to be a pickup that's going to allow those blinds to come out to get a little bit of an early advantage and sustained. Ha! Thanks a lot, Reaper. It's kind of you to say, but I don't know. I'm not. Anyway, so we do have all these guys getting ready in lobby here. It does look like pretty much everybody's ready to go. Still getting these skins out, trying to figure out what exactly they want to do for this Division 2 Chair League match. Should be a good, solid, fun one for you guys. Again, 2 very high-profile teams, very highly ranked here in Division 2. So both of these teams essentially playing for an automatic playoff berth at this point, with each team only having 1 loss on the season so far. This one pretty much locks them in for sure. I don't think even losing the last couple weeks, I don't think that winner of this match is going to possibly be able to slide their way out of the playoffs at this point. Alrighty, guys, we are indeed loading in here on Infernal Shrines. We've got Deviance is going to be your blue team on the left. We have Atrex playing Sylvanas, Prawn on Uther, Shadowstep on ETC. Quenthanol is going to be playing Kerrigan. And Spork will be playing Li Ming. On the right, We have Focus Morales or GG. Fire Team going to be playing that Rhaegar. Brandon on Vala. Isa on Johanna. Larry. Lear. Lear? Lear. I'm going to go with Lear. 2001 on Lunara. And Baked Pie on Muradin. Muradin does kind of look like he's been eating some pies lately. He's slowing down a little bit on that dwarf toss, you know. Can't quite get through quite as well. No bromo. Good to know. Good to know. It's always good to be able to understand these things beforehand. We'll have to see if that Sylvanas cheese is going to come out here right away. It does look like they're intending on going on into the mid to face off one 5v5, I should say. Lunara getting the spear throw out there. Going ahead and tossing that thing. The never-ending loop of the spear toss there. So full rotation to the top lane coming out here from Focus Morales or GG. They're going to go ahead and just go straight in to wait. Brandon not quite able to fit anywhere. Meanwhile, full party bush mode here for Deviance in that mid lane. And they are going to leap onto Brandon. That followed down right away. And look at that. That's some pretty beautiful coordination coming out there from Deviance. Just the full jump. And we are going to see the 4-man rotation coming out here for the side of Deviance. So they've got a pretty strong 4-man rotate here with the CC combos from both ETC and Kerrigan. Also that stun coming in from Uther can get a lot of work done, and Spork also having those resets with Li Ming, a lot of burst damage to be able to help secure those kills. Not to mention the resets to be able to follow up if there is a second target. But right away we see the rotation paying off as they get that rotational advantage in the mid. Bit of a rotation also coming out from Focus Morales or GG though, responding with Vala, Rhaegar, and Johanna at this point. So they are also rotating against that. But we do see the scout out there from Brandon. Nice job throwing that hungering arrow on in there, giving away those positions. But both teams doing a nice job of soaking at this point. That one kill right off the bat was the only real pick so far here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Baked Pie getting knocked around a little bit there by Sylvanas, and we are going to see the rotational advantage here secured early by Deviance as both teams inching their way towards that level 4. So it does look like Sylvanas might be able to pick that up in the mid, and indeed will. So right now Deviance being a little bit patient, but in comes Sylvanas. At this point they do have the ability, but here's where I'm worried. I think that in these phases of the game we're gonna see Uther, Prawn, struggling just a little bit to be able to keep up with the sustained damage that's going to be coming out from Focus Morales or GG. We'll have to see if that is indeed is the case. They have gotten a nice lead so far on this, though. However, quickly is Focus Morales or GG catching up here. They catch Spork out a little bit, but nice peel there from Shadow Step to be able to get him out of trouble there. But the push is coming in. Those two frontliners from Focus Morales or GG getting deep in on this. Both teams only 5 away at this point. However, we do see Muradin dying on the backside. And so the Punisher is actually going to be picked up by Focus Morales or GG, but 2 picks there for the side of Deviance. That CC coming into play as they were able to keep them alive long enough to be able to get those frontliners. They pushed in, but they did get the Punisher out of it at least, denying at Rex the ability to aid the push in those Punishers is going to be very important here for the side of Focus Morales or GG. Meanwhile, a ton of damage coming out there on Prawn as Punisher doing everything he can to get in there and get that last kill. But ultimately, we do see that they are able to save their entire front wall, though that one cannon tower is the definition of sneezable at this point. Both teams rotating out to start to do camps. Baked Pie scouting a little bit. He's actually going to go ahead and get started on invading that camp in the mid lane, trying to get double Khazra action going on here. But you see both teams not being too ridiculously crazy in their engagement at this point in the match, but they're actually going to choose to just let this go. But Shadow Step will get in there, get a little bit of CC off on those two frontliners. Nothing crazy. Figuring at this point that it's a little easier to actually just go ahead and clear it than really to dive headlong in, I think is a fair point. No reason to get too, as my friend Reaper likes to say, thirsty at this phase of the game. Wow, Volley going to get some work done here in this top lane. Nobody soaking in that top lane for the side of Deviance. Instead, they've got the full 5-man stack looking for some kills. They are going to catch a pick out here on Johanna. Very nice job coordinating there. Baked Pie is going to actually have to dwarf toss his way on out of that situation as well. So that 5-man stack paying off. However, in the top lane, Brandon is indeed getting some work done, being able to soften that up. But here comes the rotation. Is going to have to hightail it out of here. But nice response there to be able to get out in time. Solid rotation from Brandon, and here we go. Shrine is active in the mid lane. Both mid lanes have been softened up a little bit, but nothing too crazy at this point. Meanwhile, we do see engagements beginning. Teams starting to poke each other out a little bit here. And nice poke coming in from Spork to be able to get some damage down. Fire Team is going to be stunned in that Kerrigan combo. Is going to have to walk his way on out of there as Rhaegar. Quento getting very, very low here, though, as right away we do see a solid focus there. But they are going to trade out for Johanna. A 1-for-1 exchange at this point, and a huge lead on this altar for the side of Deviance. This Shrine, they are in charge right now. And Focus Morales or GG doing what they can to try and contest, but Baked Pie getting in there so deep. But the poison damage really starting to hurt. However, it's not going to be in time. Too little too late. Is that extra damage coming in to be able to pressure them off. They do go backward to go ahead and tap and try and heal up a little bit here. But ultimately, it is going to be captured. And again, they do have Sylvanas, so this is going to get a little bit of extra value than normal. They do bait it over the wall and get a ton of damage out of it on here. But ultimately, they are able to clean it up very, very nicely for the side of Focus Morales or GG, realizing how devastating that Sylvanas pick can be on this map if you don't answer to it. They send a full 5-man stack to defend, and they do a nice job of not letting it get too far out. Brandon actually gets hit by that Kerrigan combo just barely. But Quenthlin not being too overly aggressive this phase of the game. Camps are going to be picked up here. Bruiser camp in the mid lane. Meanwhile, that Shaman camp is going to be pushing in the top. Plenty of time here for the side of Focus Morales or GG to be able to pick this up, though. So we do see the bottom lane also picked up here. So nice solid murking coming out here from Focus Morales or GG. Both teams have gone ahead and picked up their level 10 at this point. It is going to be Rain of Vengeance coming out from Vala. Thornwood Vines, of course, pretty standard pick. Everything across the board is pretty standard. We are going to see Divine Mosh this game. So we're going to see Deviance trying to get in there and get those unstoppable mosh pits coming out. Meanwhile, yet another rotation in here onto Issa, trying to get that pick, but not going to be having it this early in the game. At this point in the game, Johanna plenty tanky to be able to survive that situation. Meanwhile, going to be a nice camp pickup here for the side of Deviance, as they are going to be able to pick that up as this shrine spawns. So we'll have to see if Focus Morales GG is going to let that push or not. Atrex is actually going to go ahead and take an opportunity to get this cleared, get a little extra value here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we do have the Shaman camp pushing in on this fort. And it does look like Deviance is going to go ahead and make the patient play and clean it up beforehand. Get a little bit of that minion wave coming back here to help out. But 12 minion lead here attained, but here it comes everything. Again, it is that unstoppable Mosh and the combo pulling everybody in. The Ancestral will come out to be able to keep Lear alive here. And Quenthalin getting a little too far in. It is actually going to be a 2-for-0 exchange as Uther goes down. And despite that beautiful combo between the Kerrigan pull-in and the Mosh, just not enough damage for them to really be able to capitalize there. Fireteam doing a nice job keeping the team alive long enough to handle that situation. And even though many members were quite low, Fireteam was able to go tap and get himself healed up and get that Lunara topped off with the Ancestral as well. They completely dominated that team fight in the end. Now I feel like the unstoppable mosh pit has been becoming less and less effective lately. So that's why I feel like we've seen a lot of stage dives coming in from these ETC players, but ultimately, really big moment here. They do have 13. They do have the ability to push in here, and it does look like they're going to. They got that double front line to be able to really enable those auto attackers on the back end, and they are going to get this front wall easily to be able to get a little extra value. And they're going to rotate out to these other lanes, do a little murking. Their camp is up on the opposite side, almost a minute still on the other side. Yeah, that was really Focus Morales or GG's situation to win on the top end. We saw Deviance patiently clearing the camps and trying to see if they couldn't get extra value on the map. But here we do see Deviance with a really strong rotate. They are going to go ahead and pick this fight, even though they don't have the 13 talent advantage. And they're going to pay for it right away, losing their 2 frontliners. Not a very smart engagement there. I think they thought they had somebody caught out, but the whole team was right there, ready to rotate from those positions in the bottom, and this is pretty much going to earn them that free keep in the bottom. Lunara going to go ahead and work on that camp. That Splintering Spear coming in plenty handy there. Coming in from that 7 talent, getting so much of that poison damage out. And going to go ahead and pick up that camp. Going to be able to push in the bottom lane, put some extra pressure there. And now they can just murk as they please, paint the map their color. We do see Atrex going ahead and getting back to pick up that camp, getting a little bit of that extra haunting wave action to get those extra quivers. Quivers for days on that Sylvanas. Not to mention a ton of mobility as well with that extra haunting wave talent at 13. Really good on a map like this that is so PvE oriented. Well, we do see Quenthalin getting caught out a little bit here. Is going to be able to get the cleanse there at least. And we do see the, yet again, the Divine Mosh is hit. But the frontliners are the target, and that's a huge problem. Baked Pie was able to sustain that damage in the Mosh Pit. Fireteam hitting a monster Ancestral to be able to keep him alive. The combo is not going to be in time to hit Fireteam to be able to capitalize on that, on him being a little bit out of position there. And all of a sudden, the 16 talent tier has been achieved for the side of Focus Morales or GG. It wasn't a bad engage, I'll tell you. I think that was a good opportunity. As soon as they had gotten the 13 talent tier at that point, were not down a talent tier, and needed to protect Quenthalin there. But the problem is that Kerrigan had gotten caught out a little bit there. Wasn't really able to fully commit to that team fight without getting exploded. And that Maelstrom and the damage from Kerrigan coming in, coordinating with all of those, and then the Wailing Arrow to come finish it up after that mosh pit is over. Really essential. It's not super hard of a combo to pull off, but it's really important that everything hits perfectly there. And so if you have one little misstep where Kerrigan isn't 100% sure that he's got the health to go back in on those things, it's going to be rough. The combo a little bit easier, a little bit just a lower difficulty skill on the side of Focus Morales or GG, and we're seeing that coming out here. This mid keep is in trouble. Nice 2-man combo there ultimately he is going to pressure them off of this mid lane. But at this point, Focus Morales or GG has been in charge of this match the whole match long thus far. And with the 16 talent tier advantage at this point, it's not going to stop anytime real soon. We see Baked Pie trying to scout out here, trying to see if he can find anybody out. And the rotations are on here. They're being very aggressive about their positioning here, and they are going to find Atrex on this back line. Is going to get completely blown up here. And Quentin popping that Maelstrom as they consider going back in on this. The combo is going to hit Baked Pie, but yet again, the tank is gonna be able to keep up through that. And a nice rotation, another nice pick. Focus Morales or GG in the driver's seat here, not letting up for a single second. You gotta wonder how many lives are left here for Deviance. They've given up a lot of their structures, and they've had some chances, but ultimately have just been losing a lot of these big team fights. So how many lives left in that life pool for the side of Deviance? The next Punisher is probably going to result in a keep regardless of which lane that it pops into at this point. And I think they're just kind of running out of time and running out of opportunities. Slowly but surely here, they're going to have to figure out something to be able to change to switch this around. And yet again, Baked Pie doing a nice job of scouting both of these tanks. Full on, full out, trying to bait. And we do see, you know, that at this point, Deviance not wanting to pick a fight, realizing the team can't be all that far away. But we do have camps picked up here. He's going to be pressuring in both the top and mid lane. That bottom lane pushed out pretty far as well. So much vision, so much control at this point for Focus Morales or GG. They're even going to go ahead and steal this top camp. Going to be stacking both of these camps in the top lane. And I'll tell you, as an experienced Li Ming player, not easy to clear these shaman camps as Li Ming. You can't focus damage very well on those shamans. So much stuff in the way. And we do see easy positional advantage here for the side of Focus Morales or GG. The rotation is coming out here from Deviance, but is it going to be in time? Already 15 up, and they are continuing to stack these. But this is their opportunity. This is their chance. We actually see Focus Morales or GG rotating away from this. They're going to go back in and around. They're forcing this fight hard. This is an incredibly aggressive move, and this is going to be pretty much it for Deviance. One last shot, but right away we see Kerrigan getting blown up, but the Divine Shield comes out on him, and an incredible move there from the side of Braun. They wanted to change something. They decided to change the Divine Shield target, and it paid off in a big way, taking a 3-for-0 team fight here on the Shrine. That is going to earn them the first Punisher they've gotten in a while, and all of a sudden, Deviance turning this around in a big way. But they gotta capitalize off of it. They have the comp to be able to do this and get a ton of value here. They should be able to take this top fort down without losing hardly any, if any, damage to the Punisher. They're going to be pushing right on to this top keep. Everybody will be up very soon here for Focus Morales or GG. The rotations are coming in, but it's only the two frontliners for now, and Lunara still an entire 10 seconds away as they start to work on this front wall of this keep. It is baited over the wall. They do take it back and start to get some damage on it, but Atrex already in here with the Punisher still 60% health. They're focusing a lot of damage on Issa, though. That is not the target that you want to focus, but the Punisher even getting in on it. Everybody focused on Johanna at this point. That looks like they're still here. The side of Deviance do have the opportunity to be able to capitalize. Still a little bit too focused there on the main tank. They are going to end up backing out of this situation. Not willing to go all or nothing at this point. But this was the turnaround that they needed. They went ahead. They got the first keep of the game, protecting their own structures. And look at they've been experiencing this all game with the rotations, but not really a whole lot to rotate up here. The bottom lanes are where all of the camps are at this point. And we do see Focus Morales or GG with a really strong rotation, but Brandon's got to be very careful here. The 5-stack coming in hard from the side of Deviance. They are going to catch Brandon out here, and a ton of damage, but we'll be able to get away. But here's the turn from Focus Morales or GG. They have 20s, and the Divine Shield will be enough to keep Shadow Step up for a little while, but he will go down here. And a frightful mistake here from the side of Deviance, looking so hard for that fight without the 19 advantage, and this could be the beginning of the end. The push in here in the middle from Focus Morales or GG, they know that they can get this keep at the very least. They might be going for game. 38 seconds still on ETC, even longer than that on Uther, so with no heals and no frontline tank, this is going to be a rough defense here for the side of Deviance. Mid keep will go down here. It does look like that for now, Focus Morales or GG is going to go ahead and back on off. Now they are going to have the opportunity to scoop up camps here, and all of a sudden, just like that, the swing and momentum goes back over to Focus Morales or GG. But it's not over yet. All 5 members will be up here very soon for Deviance. They do have level 20s, and that is a very unfavorable spawn, however, for Deviance. 2 structures over to the side of Focus Morales or GG at this point. No keep over on the side of Deviance. So this mid lane, very well covered for Focus Morales or GG. This could be a final opportunity for Deviance. If they lose this Punisher, could spell the end of the game for them. However, Focus Morales or GG could probably survive losing the Punisher in this situation. So we are going to see Deviance going ahead and rotating here. They are going to get started on this, so a little bit of an advantage. But here comes Focus Morales or GG. They're looking for it. They're looking for an opportunity to get in there. They know at any point we could see that Divine Mosh combo come out, and Deviance not willing to go full on in. They are also looking for an opportunity. But all the backliners being pretty passive. However, Big Pie stepping out a little bit too far. They focus their attack up on the top against him. But Gwentholyn getting deep in on that backline. 3-man combo there. But the turn is coming in, and all of a sudden goes down on that back end. Shadow Step very low. And I felt like that was a moment where Fire Team, Brandon, and Lear were all kind of say, oh, here comes Kerrigan with the combo, but then they realized, oh wait, she's alone. Turn around and kill her. The Kerrigan, they know, and so that could be the end. Focus Morales or GG doing a nice job being able to handle that situation, particularly the frontliners being able to occupy all 4 members other than Kerrigan. And doing a nice job keeping at least them off, and then just doing a nice job managing that situation for themselves. They are going to go ahead and stop at 1. They have 1 left to have to pick up here on the Shrine to be able to win this. They're going to get a little added pressure with these mercs in the bottom, clear a little bit in the top, make sure they're all nice and topped off at this point. It is also going to let Kerrigan get back in on this defense, but here we go. This is a very, very scary moment if you're Deviance. I don't know if they can come back from this one. They do have all 5 up at this point, but that's about it. No structure in this mid lane to be able to help them. Minion wave coming in with the Cosra camps, even the catapult in on this. And right away, jumping in deep, and they are going to completely explode the lone ETC in the front, and that is a rough way to start off the defense, and that probably also will mark the end of the defense attempt. Gwentholyn will pop that Maelstrom, gonna get in deep, hitting a 2-man combo, but ultimately it's just too much damage on the core. And that is it. Focus Morales or GG winning here on Infernal Shrines. So I think a lot of what this match came down to for these 2 teams is difficulty of team comps. I think that Deviance had a solid team comp to be able to pull off what they wanted to do, but it had to be done in a certain way. They had to coordinate a lot better than the side of Focus Morales or GG. You have to hit the moshes. You have to hit those divine shields on the right targets. And we saw that that did happen up in that top lane. They had that last opportunity to really come back, and they did. They won it in a big way, where Kerrigan had gotten low, but that divine shield came out just in time to be able to save her and enabled the team to get in there, get some damage, get some kills, get the mosh pit off. And it all worked for them. But it was only one fight that it really worked for them, because it was so much easier for Baked Pie and Issa to be able to go in that front line, be disruptive, and enable Brandon and Lear to be able to do what they do, laying down that damage in a big way, and the numbers reflect that. Solid damage coming out from Spork also, though, in Li Ming. Actually had the top damage in the game, but it's really rough as Li Ming to be able to get that damage out if there's just so much in the way in these two big heavy frontliners. So that was a problem, I think, for Spork all game long, trying to get the damage out. But we'll go ahead and take a look at these talents. So full clear build coming in for Atrex, even going with the Windrunner to be able to get those extra stacks up. Gonna go Ron enabling that wave, the extra long wave and the extra cooldown reduction, or I should say mana reduction. Both, actually. But and enabling some better clearing, so focusing on wave clear, which is really important on this map. Hardened focus coming in at 16, really important. But otherwise, pretty standard build. Not going with the piano Uther, but going with the more wave cleary type of build. We do see Astral Presence. So pretty common build for Li Ming, Calamity build. However, a lot of times we see it for the dominance, but it'll be kind of hard to get those picks against those big frontliners, like I said. So maybe not a bad idea going after the poke oriented, so you can go a little bit of both. But we do see Block Party coming out from ETC. I see a lot of ETCs going with that for the extra block for all the teammates in, particularly when you got another frontliner like Kerrigan that can really use it. Mosh Pit coming out, so that Divine Mosh didn't pick up a lot of kills, but it's really, again, it's really difficult when you're only getting those tanks in that front line to really be able to pull off some kills. Got to be able to have your team get around and get through that. Pretty standard Kerrigan build coming out, no big surprises there. Wolf build coming out from Fire Team, actually going Earth Shield to really be able to enable those tanks on the frontliners. Pretty standard. A lot of what we see in the pro leagues for Brandon's build here, enabling that multi-shot and going Rain of Vengeance, of course. But otherwise, ranker upgrades, which is pretty common. Pretty common build for Johanna, the Regen Master, the self-sustain. Lunara going with the reveal, of course, Nimble. Splintered Spear, which is a good solid pickup on this map with all the different targets you have to hit in on those shrines. Makes it really easy to clear. And Galloping, no big shock there. And of course, pretty standard Muradin build in general. Again, just going for that tanky front line. You know, a lot of Muradins, I think, in this situation would be tempted to go with that punch, but just Avatar so much better, so much more impactful. Going a little bit more bruisery in general, going for more CC than self-sustain, but when you're fighting alongside of Johanna, do you really need it that much? But ultimately, I think that a lot of the team fights did ultimately come down to Uther having a lot of trouble with the sustain. He's not a sustain healer, he's a pure burst healer. He's got almost no sustained healing because those long cooldowns, at least until 16. But even then, not very sustaining, even with lessened cooldowns. And I think that's a big part of what happened here, is that Uther pick into Lunara is just really, really rough. But both teams electing to ban out a lot of healers in the early part of this. The denial on Malfurion right from the get-go, and then the Ariel and Brightwing bans coming out, leaving only a limited hero pool, which was kind of rough. You know, you gotta find a healer in there somewhere, and so Uther was that final pickup. But thank you very much for joining me, guys. That's gonna be it for me tonight, and thanks for coming out for Chair League. If you do like Chair League and you want to watch more, I do cast quite often for Chair League, and also try and help broadcast it a little bit with hosting other casters that are casting. So not a bad channel to follow if you really want to keep up with Chair League. And I will see you guys next time.